My very first job was with Johnny Walker, so I got an abiding interest and a long-seated interest in distilling. I did that for about 5 years, then I did something totally different for the next 30. But I'd never lost interest in distilling. I was working up in the Highlands. My wife was in Edinburgh in a job she didn't particularly enjoy, and I just thought this is unsustainable. And I rang her up on a Wednesday night and I said, how about we build a distillery? And I thought she'd tell me to get on my bike. But you know, she said, sounds like we should look into it. So we did. We pulled our act together fairly early on to make sure we had an online shop. But you know, when you've spent all the money on a building and the refurb and the still and all the equipment, you can rapidly run out of marketing muscle. And the next step really was to look at one of the big major platforms. And the obvious one, the one we all love using it, and that's Amazon.
It's got such a massive reach. I think it's worthwhile investing in it. And once you can get the machine to all work properly, the cogs all turning at the same time, I think it's a very powerful tool, and I think it could enable our brand to reach a massive audience, which we maybe couldn't quite reach without paying a lot of money for SEO and things on our own website.
It's pretty obvious you don't need a big slice of Amazon to do very well. But I found it increasingly frustrating.
It felt like whenever we had a question about why are we not allowed to post this particular image, or why is this copy being banned, you know, we didn't understand. And when you emailed the help desk, it was a rote response, which didn't help at all. It was almost like in another language, even though every word was in English. It felt like everywhere we turned, with our understanding about how things work, you know, pretty savvy with digital marketing on our own website, as soon as we came to Amazon, we were in the dark.
We were getting bulk buy offers from Amazon where the kind of unit price was less than my cost of production. I was also getting a lot of deliveries turned away from one particular Amazon warehouse. And I would have proof of delivery from the courier company, and Amazon would then send you a note saying we want proof of delivery, so you'd send it again. Latterly, you know, 20 cases would go missing. You know, any company wouldn't want 20 cases of gin going missing, but small companies, it was a big deal. I never lost sight of the fact that the small chunk of Amazon would be great for the business. No question about that. So it would be very reluctant, but the frustration and the losses would mean I just simply couldn't afford to carry on. So I was on the verge of chucking the whole thing when I came across Sell Beyond. One makes judgments in life. And my judgment immediately was, this woman knows her stuff.
What Sell Beyond were able to do brilliantly was grasp what we needed. They just had this wisdom. Do you know, they were Dumbledore. They just knew what was happening on the Amazon stakes. And, you know, so we were really thirsty to hear from them. What can you do to help us?
An early conversation again with Eloise is, you know, what does success look like? Which means that, well, if that's the target, if that's what we're shooting for, what do we need to do? It is a long game, we need to invest in it, but it's worth it because all the way along we've more slice, Amazon, got to be good for the business. And that's what we're working to now. The first major thing is, do I continue with Vendor Central, or do I make the transition to Seller Central, which meant a whole new raft of work, which was made very plain to me up front, so there was nothing hidden, no surprises, which again was a fantastic quality. And then all the tactical stuff that falls out from that. So it was saying, well, your photographs are okay. I'm quite sure that was a euphemism for actually not very good. But you know, some of them weren't very good. So I think presentationally we look a lot sharper on Amazon. I do feel a lot more comfortable dealing with Amazon, knowing that I've got Sell Beyond, got my back. They're there, their job, their role for us is to just keep knocking away at it, to persevere, to go for it. I can't devote that time which is why it's so valuable having them, as I say, covering our back and doing it for us.
That level of advice, and because it's front of mind and because they're there and they do everything in a kind of a readily understandable way, it's made a massive difference to us.
Had I known Sell Beyond when I started Vendor Central, I think we could have been sitting pretty well now. I almost feel like I wasted that time because I didn't seek the expertise I'm now getting. It's like a new start, and it's going incredibly well.
We're definitely doing more business on Amazon, and we can see the difference in that already, and we've got great hopes for the future because of that.
I want to make good gin, I want to move on and make good whiskey, I want to make people happy because they're coming into the distillery and they're buying into our own brand, which is the most wonderful thing to be able to do, is to be building a brand, and I'm loving every minute of it. And I want to get to more people that sell more gin through Amazon with the right help, and people I respect and trust.